Come, journey with me to explore new worlds and endless possibilities. Hi guys, it's me, Lady Shawn, welcoming you back for another episode of Cover to Cover Chronicles. And on this episode, I will be reviewing Tales from the Red Sun Village by Mark Swaine. And this book is only available for digital download, so you will have to order this one from Amazon. Tales from the Red Sun Planet features 3 mini short stories that are combined within this one great book. So to start off with, we have a prologue that we find that we are in a place known as Purgatoria. And here we find that a storyteller has been sent out, and he is there to tell stories to the local children that are at this outpost. And this is where the book begins. So the first story in this book is known as The Midnight Foot Masseuse. And in this one, we meet a character who we find that was a chef. And we find that he was fired from the job that he had previous when his girlfriend and his boss there form a relationship. So he leaves, and down on his luck, he rents a room. While staying in this room, he begins to notice something is a little out of order when he falls asleep and he wakes up to a mysterious woman that is reaching from under his bed and is giving him a foot massage. What is unique about her foot massages is that she has the ability to transform the person's life for the better. But there is a cost, and you'll have to read this story to find out what it is. But let's just say that everything that appears to be good is not as good as what it seems. And he finds that out in this story, which is very thrilling and eye-catching. So the next story after this one we find is Plus a Few Upgrades. Now with this story, we find that there's a young lady who is into video gaming, but little does she know that the game she is about to play could mean the difference between life and death. So in this story, she purchases a video game that she thought was a retro, but once she plugs it in and she begins to play, she realizes that she is in a completely and totally different world. I will say that this story kind of gave me the feeling of Jumanji, which if you've seen the new remake of Jumanji, you realize that they are sucked into a video game as well. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a hint of what this game may be like. But trust me, this is nothing like Jumanji, because we are introduced to several characters who are able to access this video game from different places around the world. And it really leads to a very interesting story. And I hate that it ended on a cliffhanger, because I would have loved to see what happens to her and the rest of the characters when they enter this video game. Last story in this series is known as The Child's Ward. And in this one, we meet a young boy who becomes sick, and he is placed into the hospital. And while he's there, he runs into this monster who is the image of humans' anger and hate. And he is forced to battle this monster throughout his life. But once he saves a child that is also in the ward, that boy kind of becomes his conscience, if you will. And he is able to guide him through life and to help him see what is happening and to help him be able to make the right decisions so that he can have the future that he has always dreamed of for himself. Overall, I would give this book a 5 out of 5. I love the varying different stories. It actually kind of gave me a feeling of like Tales from the Crypt meets Goosebumps. I love the fact that it kind of pops back and forward into Purgatoria in between each story, so that you kind of get the children's reactions as well as that as the adults that are located at this outpost. I really enjoyed some of the messages within the stories, especially as it relates to the kids. And I liked the overall ending where it ties all the stories together into the messages in Purgatoria for the kids. I love the development of the characters in each of these stories, and I definitely loved how suspenseful this book is. It definitely falls under the horror, science fiction, fantasy category, as well as this book would be great for young adults because of it doesn't have a lot of foul language or content within it. I will say that out of the three stories, I'd have to definitely say my favorite one was Plus a Few Upgrades. That story definitely kept me on the edge of my seat and wanting to know what happened with each turn of the page. The Midnight Foot Masseuse was also really good. I love the development of the two main characters, one being the chef and the other one being the demon that lurks up under his bed. So I love the development of his story as well as the way that one ended in sort of a cliffhanger as well. I also like the one about the child's ward because it kind of helps you follow this young man from being a teenager into adulthood and being able to see how our decisions can affect the outcome of the future that we want. So I really like that as well. And I also like the glimpses back into Purgatoria and also how the stories tended to tie into what was happening and that they use these stories in order to relate to the children to help them to understand and to overcome their fears of the unknown and those things that are happening in Purgatoria as well. Definitely love this book. Can't wait for volume 2 to come out. And this book had 153 pages. And I will let you know now that this book is only available for digital download. I would suggest you download it on your favorite Kindle or reading device of your choice. And for those of you who do not have a Kindle Fire or anything like that, don't feel left out. You can actually download the Kindle Reading app onto any smartphone or iPad, and that will give you access to the Kindle library. So you will be able to have these downloaded into that Kindle app, and you'll be able to take them with you on the road. As always, remember to comment, like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you'll be notified of my upcoming videos. Also, leave comments if you have any books or authors that you would like for me to add to my upcoming review list. I will definitely be sure to get those added as well. The next book that I will be reviewing is Caught Up in Passion by Delta Rose. And this is part of her 3-book Passion series, which is a contemporary romance. So I will see you guys back here for another episode of Cover to Cover Chronicles. See you soon. Bye-bye.